physical therapy and athletic training, building the best athletes in the Black Hills as the official strength and conditioning provider for Stevens, Central, and the Rapid City Rush. Learn more at bhphysio.com.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
We'll invite you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
There can be no doubt, losing a loved one is always difficult. At O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home, we strive to meet your emotional needs with compassion, kindness, and understanding. The caring staff at O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home recognizes the importance of celebrating a life that was lived with dignity, respect, and professionalism, serving local families in their special time of need for generations. O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home, Rapid City. Phone 343-0077 or visit osimschmidt.com.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
The Cleveland Browns have signed three-time Pro Bowl pass rusher Jadeveon Clowney. Ian Rappaport reports it's a one-year deal worth up to $10 million. A man today filed a criminal complaint against Los Angeles Rams star defensive lineman Aaron Donald, claiming that Donald assaulted him early Sunday morning outside a Pittsburgh nightclub. In the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets say Kevin Durant is out for tonight's game against the Sixers due to left hamstring injury management. Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, James Harden also out. Kyrie Irving, however, will be available. In Major League Baseball, the Houston Astros placed 5 players, including Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, and Yordan Alvarez on the injured list due to health and safety protocols. On the field, Bo Bichette hit the game-winning home run in the bottom of the ninth to give the Blue Jays a 5-4 victory over the Yankees. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host.
Well, good Wednesday afternoon. How you doing? Hopefully solid, rock solid, middle of the week. We're back. So it's a great day in the Black Hills. We know that. And the Nate Brown Show is live. We're here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're here. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. If you're listening there, thanks a lot. Also checking us on our YouTube channel, up and ready to go. Search Nate Brown Show. You can watch us on YouTube now and the smart TV like my daughter the other day. What a surprise. My show was on when I got home, a little rerun there. Yeah, the archive's there as well. So search Nate Brown Show on YouTube. And, of course, on Twitter, saying hi to everybody live in studio camera here. Watch the show on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. You can follow us there. What a Wednesday show. I mean, rock solid guest lineup. These guys are really, really good today. We'll get to the guest lineup. The Nate Brown Show brought to you in part by the Rehab Doctors, our partners. And when it comes to the Black Hills, that's the team to treat your injury without surgery. All non-surgical musculoskeletal injuries can be treated by the Rehab Doctors. Give them a chance. And have them give you pain relief without surgery. That's the team since 1997 in Rapid City, the official sports medicine physicians of the Rapid City Rush, the Rehab Doctors. Take your first step to feeling better. If you have an injury, learn more at therehabdoctors.com. Okay, let's look at the Rock Solid lineup on a Wednesday. We've got a lot to cover today. Great guests across the board. It's the Dakota Marker game this weekend. I know this FCS spring season, people have kind of been checking in and out and games canceled, and it's been kind of a struggle, but we're pushing forward. The playoffs in the FCS start next week. So they already start next weekend. South Dakota State's right there. North Dakota State's right there. This is the showdown we watch every fall, and it's happening this Saturday. South Dakota State visiting North Dakota State. We'll talk Jackrabbit football. John Stiglmeyer live from Brookings. He's on the way. Out to the Twin Cities today. A lot to touch on. One of the best guys out there. We don't get him very often. He's busy on TV. You know, those TV guys, they're busy. They're busy. They got to edit this, shoot this, do an anchor, do all that. Darren Wolfson, KSTP, ABC Minneapolis. He's one of the top sports guys in the Twin Cities. Darren Wolfson on the way. Kurt Heelan, lead NBA writer for NBC Sports. We'll break some things down with Kurt. He's on the way from L.A., all the way from L.A. out to the New York area today. New York City, Joe Pompliano, one of the lead sports business writers in the country. Sports business, Joe Pompliano. He's got some insight on this league that I talked about last night on the show. If you missed last night, go catch the podcast. There's this new basketball league going to pay high school kids now, the elite of the elite. They're going to pay high school kids $100,000 a year, provide some education, but mainly basketball. And Joe Pompliano writes sports business in New York. He's got some insight. That's where the league is launching. It's from Overtime Elite. They launched it out of New York. Joe Pompliano on the way to describe that scenario, provide some insight. And also, here in South Dakota, it wouldn't be a show without Craig Maddock tonight. On a Wednesday, Craig Maddock, South Dakota Public Broadcasting, live from Sioux Falls. We'll talk East River, West River. Throw out the number. Get in today, 720-1067. If you don't know the number, there you go, 720-1067. The Boss Pizza and Chicken Sports Line live, and also the Barron's Wilson text line. Same number, but text the show. It comes in here, 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. Let's start with something and just see where people are at today. I've got a breaking news story, by the way, which is relates to this, and we'll get to that. But the question of the day, dealing with this story that it's just one instance. It's just one instance, but I believe it gives us a picture of how sports are going, how the student-athlete empowerment is going. I really believe this. I think things are a lot different today, and if you're not adjusting or you're not sensitive to the fact that things are a lot different with some of today's athletes, are you going to get an advance in today's world in the sports category? And what I'm discussing today is things change. This wouldn't have been dreamed of, I don't think, years ago. The scenario today that I'm going to describe here right now. This wouldn't have been dreamed of years ago, but it's happened today. You remember this team, Abilene Christian? You remember this team in the NCAA tournament? Maybe not, but they beat Texas. That was a big upset in the men's basketball tournament, and then Abilene Christian did get beat. But with that success, they had a great regular season, and then they beat the Texas Longhorns. Little Abilene Christian down in Texas beat the Longhorns. It was massive, right? Just massive. So their head coach got a big job, bigger than Abilene Christian, with getting them to the tournament the last 2 out of the last 3 years. This coach got them to the tournament 2 out of the last 3 years. They beat the Texas Longhorns. So he's got a new job now to go to UTEP. So University of Texas, El Paso. It's a step up from Abilene Christian. So their head coach got a job at UTEP. And so now what's happened at Abilene Christian this week is this. The Abilene Christian basketball players who lost their coach to UTEP, okay, they want the school and the athletic director to hire one specific guy. They want the school to hire the assistant coach that's already there. Okay? Doesn't seem like that big of a problem, maybe, but, I mean, people have asked, hey, we like this guy. We came here. We know this guy. Let's just have some continuity here. We lost our head coach. Maybe you should hire this assistant coach. Well, we've heard of this before, but not this per se. And the players have announced today, they've all agreed they're not going to do any workouts, no practice, no workouts, nothing until the school tells them that they're going to give the job to the assistant coach. So the players announced that today, that they say, hey, if you don't hire our assistant coach who's right here, then we're out. That's basically what they're telling. So what I'm telling you is that's what I believe is new to this athlete empowerment, from the pros saying, I'm going to go here if you don't do this, to the college players, at least at Abilene Christian now, saying, we're not going to work out, we're not going to do basketball activities until the AD hires the assistant coach that we're telling you to hire. Is that something that's going to happen more and more? Is that something that should be commended? Some people today are commending that. I'm not commending that. Some people, as this story got going today, are saying, good for these players. Good for these players, standing up saying, this is the guy, the assistant coach, he's right here anyway, this is the guy. My question of the day is, do you think that the players should have that voice, that decision, or the players just need to practice, need to do the workouts? They don't get to make the call. That's the question of the day as we look at kind of the new transition here of athletes' voices being heard more than ever. And I believe they are. I do believe this. I mean, some people say the athletes have no voice, they have nothing, they don't get anything. I'm not one of those guys. I believe they get a lot. I think there's changes that we need to make. But this is the type of thing where we wouldn't have dreamed of making this requirement back in the day, would we have? I don't think you would have had a demand of, hey, hire this coach, offer him the job, otherwise we're out. So now Abilene Christian, what's the athletic director supposed to do? What would you do? That's the question. What would you do? Hire the guy they want, or say, no, I'll make my own decision? Hire the guy they want, or I'm going to make my own decision. And maybe the decision is the guy they want. But the players have jumped out in front of this saying, this is the guy. End of story. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like from the empowerment of, we want this guy, and if we don't get this guy, we're going to be upset. Let the process play out. Have some meetings behind closed doors. Have some conversations. Don't go on Twitter and announce it as a team that we're not going to practice and play if we don't get our guy. That's where it gets edgy, right? They don't get to make the call. You can't have it. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
You can say what you want. It's that liberal university thinking. Now, let me give you an independent thinking, okay? What I would do at Abilene Christian, I would kick every one of them off the team. Imagine this, Nate. You're looking for a new head coach. You got 10 scholarships to give away. Imagine the team you could have.
Well, they were pretty good, though, Steve. I mean, they're
no, they weren't, Nate.
They're pretty
they
good.
Got lucky
they're
with
pretty
one
good.
Game. They know. They were one of 68 teams.
They went 24-1. Yeah, check their record. They're pretty good. They went 24-1.
Gonzaga was undefeated. They had one win. Oh, my God, they're the greatest team ever. Okay? Let's be real.
My point is, they're pretty good. You wouldn't kick those guys off. You wouldn't kick those guys off because you know what? You'd be gone. You can't kick the. You can't do that. This is the real world.
Don't tell me I can't do nothing, Nate.
Well, I know you probably would.
22 years in the military, buddy.
I know you probably would.
You can't do this. You can't do this. If they don't want to play and practice, they sign a commitment. You can't obligate that commitment. Get the hell out of my school.
Well,
I mean, come on, Nate. Let's cut the BS. They beat Texas, okay? Texas hasn't been to a Final Eight, and I'm going to go a decade, just off the bottom of my list there. All right, Abilene Christian. Ooh, you're one of 32 teams. Ooh, let's give you everything.
By the way, what percentage of the audience agrees with you and me, by the way? I do have that question, like, what do you do here? That's where it gets played out in social media, which is terrible. So the AD's now just saying, hey, guys, hang on. Just give me a little time. Hang on. That's what he's saying now. What percentage of the audience says the players can't make the call? What would you guess, Steve? What we got some votes already. What percent?
Let's break it down in demographics. All right, everybody under 30 that lives with his mom. See, you should have categories. Under 30 lives in mom's basement. From 30 to 45, if your mom helped with the down payment of your house, you're ineligible to vote. Now let's go to the 50 and over crowd. I'm going to go a very high percentage saying kick them off the team.
Well, I don't think they're kicking them off the team, but they are saying 75% say players can't make this call.
That's like somebody going up to Rapid City Stevens. Let's say they fire the head boys basketball coach. Well, we want Bill Smith to run it, okay? Because he's a great assistant freshman B coach. And if you don't, we're going to quit. What do you think that's going to happen there, Nate?
By the way, and not using specifics, but parents have made some calls. You know that at various schools. I know it. They say we want this person, and if not, we're going to be upset. You know that happens. That's what the players are doing.
Know, the mistake is sometimes they follow that parent.
I know it.
And it's sad because we lost some great coaches.
It's happened.
All because a simple little AD folded.
By the way, I say the players can't make the call. You say the players can't make the call. I just know you're not going to kick them off the team.
I would, Nate. I wouldn't even hesitate.
All right, brother.
Nate, how many of them Abilene Christian players are you going to see at the NBA? And don't tell me they could go to Germany, Italy. That's not really pro ball. You could take the best team overseas, bring them into the NBA. The Minnesota Timberwolves would kick their butt. Okay, and we all know Minnesota can't kick
You aren't going to end your basketball program over this. That's my point. I believe you can't make the players
and recruit with all them new scholarships. You're not obligated. They
Good
didn't
luck.
fulfill their commitment.
Good luck. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks for getting in. 720-1067. I say this. I do believe this is not a symptom, but it's one of those things that's happened now is we have voices through social media, and everybody and their mother, right? Everybody and their dog has a voice through social media, and they get to say, do this, or we're going to do this. And that's what happened with this tournament team, Abilene Christian, today. By the way, that's the update on the poll question so far. Where are you at? 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. You can let me know there as well. 76% now say the players don't make the call here. The players don't make the call. And I'm going to go back to this. It's just this sign of what's happening here. If the players just chilled, it's just like when you're at work, something emotional happens, something happens, right? And I always have this rule. Do the old 24-hour rule. Do the old 24-hour. Sleep on it. Don't make an emotional decision when something gets going. You're a little fired up. Maybe you're not thinking straight. Think it through, okay? That's mainly how I try and handle things. It's worked really, really well. That's the scenario now. Everybody jumping to, we want this guy. This is our assistant coach. This is the guy at Abilene Christian. We're not going to play if it's not this guy. And we throw it out on Twitter, and now it's exploding this afternoon. And the Abilene Christian athletic director has said, guys, just hang on. Okay, there's a little bit of a process here. Okay, They might end up hiring the assistant coach. That might be the best choice, by the way. And now it's going to look like, well, did we cave to the players? Was it the right choice anyway? And the players have created this problem, in my opinion. 76% of you say players can't make this call. 24%. Wow. 24%, the question of the day, saying, yes, when it comes to this next head coach, the players should have that voice, and you hire the guy they want. Hire the guy they want. And you know what happens now, right? You know what happens now. If somehow things go awry, let's say the AD has another candidate, somebody that he's close with from his past. That's how it works, you know. ADs are connected, too, to other coaches in their past. So maybe he has a person ready to go. He hires that person. Then what happens? Then the players are going to transfer, right? Then you're going to have a big exodus. Then you're going to have, oh, we're out, transfer portal, we're gone. It's a cluster. It's a cluster. And now you're trying to decide, well, how do we handle this thing? Keep your eye on that. It's an interesting story. Just a little school, made a name for themselves, made the tournament 2 out of the last 3 years, beat Texas just in the first round. Their coach got hired at UTEP because he's had a nice run there at Abilene Christian. Now, here's the school which kind of gives you the big picture of, well, the scenario is, do the players have a bigger voice than ever? And should they? In this specific case, I still think you have to have the decisions being made by the decision makers. The players aren't running the show. They're a big piece of the show. We can't have the players running the show. It turns into a mess. Because then if they think they're running the show, you hire a different person, then we get to leave anyway. I mean, it's a mess. Coming right back with Darren Wolfson, KSTP, ABC Minneapolis. There's a top player for the Timberwolves. You're not going to believe. He didn't even know the guy that bought the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not kidding. That's next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at FoxSportsRapidCity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Have you hit a pothole or curb with your car? Does your vehicle need an adjustment or have an alignment, shock, or strut issue? Black Hills Tire is your one-stop shop for complete automotive service and repair in the Black Hills area. Trust your vehicle with no one else but Black Hills Tire. Contact Weston, Denise, and the guys at Black Hills Tire, where honesty, reliability, and safety is their top priority. Black Hills Tire voted the #1 shop for automotive repair and brake repair and tire store in the Black Hills. Ask about their free pickup and delivery. Black Hills Tire. Check them out online at blackhillstire.com.
Do you prefer time on the lake or on two wheels? No matter your idea of fun, Black Hills Federal Credit Union makes it easy to play your way with great wreck vehicle loans. Now extended through April 30th, our wreck vehicle promotion offers great rates and 90 days to your first payment. Learn more at bhfcu.com. Text or call 605-718-1818 or ask your dealer about BHFCU financing. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, this is Rihanna Wickett at Elevate Performance. We are ready to launch our summer sports performance camps, and now is the time to register the athlete in your family. If you want your athlete to run faster and jump higher, join us at Elevate this summer to get that edge. Our summer sports performance camps are open to boys and girls grades 6 through 12. Elevate Performance is ready to help our local athletes improve their strength, speed, agility, and more. Register today for the summer sports performance camp. Just visit elevateperformancesd.com.
Join the Rapid City Rush at Rushmore Plaza Civic Center on Saturday, April 17th for our 3rd annual Hockey and Hops event. Doors open at 5 p.m. for the pregame beer tasting, and puck drop is at 7:05 for the Rush hockey game. Guests will receive a commemorative sampling glass and will have the chance to try spring and early summer seasonal varieties from local brewers, as well as feast on a sports bar-themed appetizer buffet. Tickets are at $40, which includes the beer tasting and Rush game ticket. Tickets are at RapidCityRush.com.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Oh, we're off and running on a Wednesday, huh? There's a lot to get to today. We'll cover it. Interesting question of the day. We'll revisit that as well. The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City. How you doing? Hopefully a solid Wednesday for you. This guy's solid in the Twin Cities. We don't get them a lot. These TV guys, man, they're busy. I'm telling you. Yeah, I started out in TV, and then I was like, well, I'm not good looking enough, and then I got to shoot stuff and edit stuff and do all that. I said, I'm going to go into the radio studio. Well, this guy's working hard. He does it all. He does TV, does some radio, some writing. Score North contributor. He's on KSTP, ABC, Minneapolis. It is Darren Wolfson live on the Nate Brown Show. Darren, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Good to catch up, Nate. You know what? I owe you, so your check is in the mail. Don't ever overrate me. I'm really good at pretending like I'm busy.
Okay.
So, like, when the news director walks by or anybody else of significance, they walk by, like, I can just instantly hop on. Like, I can pretend like I'm doing a Zoom interview or I'm writing some web story or some script for television. But in reality, I'm really just killing time, waiting until the end of the workday.
I believe that. I know you're a hardworking man. Let me get this really quick here. It's interesting. Josh Donaldson comes back for the Twins, right? So Donaldson's back, starts with a hit, and then Buxton's out. Is there anything to the Buxton injury?
There's not, although anytime he is out of the lineup, I get it if your tentacles are raised. But no, my sources tell me it's a tight hamstring. Now, heck, a hamstring, right, in this weather is concerning. Like, it's another day game tomorrow, 12:10 start. The weather isn't going to be great tomorrow here in Minneapolis, so, you know, you put those two, things together, tight hamstring, bad weather, maybe he doesn't play tomorrow. But this, I'm led to believe, Nate, this is not any sort of long-term injury. But you're right. It's one thing after another, and it's not just Buxton and Donaldson. I mean, you think about last year. Jorge Polanco played just about every game, but he played through a very significant ankle injury that needed surgery in the winter. Louis Arise got hurt last year. Nelly Cruz is 40. He'll be 41 in July. So you go up and down that lineup. Like, they have 4 or 5 guys on an everyday basis where you're like, uh-oh, like, hopefully they don't get hurt. If they do get hurt, like in Buxton's case with the tight hamstring, hopefully it's not a long-term injury.
And by the way, Byron Buxton was just on fire here at the beginning of the season. He's looked really good. So let's hope. We need to hope. Need that lineup full and ready. If it is full and ready, do you objectively, do you think the Twins get the AL Central?
I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm of the belief, Nate, that as long as you're the king, as long as you're on the pedestal, somebody needs to knock you off that pedestal. After the Twins have won the division the last 2 years, yeah, to me the White Sox need to knock them off. And it's not like the White Sox, by the way, Nate, are off to a great start. So, yes, I like this Twins roster. I think come the late July non-waiver trade deadline, whether it's a starting pitcher or a reliever or potentially both, that Derek Falvey has the financial flexibility, the prospect flexibility to make a transaction, make a trade or two. So the roster you see now, I don't think will be the roster you see on, say, August 1st. But the roster you see now, yeah, I like this roster. Now, I did not foresee a 4-game losing streak on this homestand, playing, in my mind, the lowly Mariners and Red Sox, even though Boston now has, an 8-game winning streak heading into this game 2 that just got underway. The Twins are up 1-0 in the 4th inning, so it's actually been underway here for about an hour with just the 7-inning game. I did not foresee a 4-game losing streak on this homestand, but yeah, I think they'll be okay. I think the Royals are better. I think the Tigers are better. The Indians still have pretty good starting pitching, so I think the division is that much more competitive than it has been the last couple of years. But yeah, if you're asking me right now, I'll give you the same opinion I would have given you 2 weeks ago, that the Twins are the division favorites.
Darren Wolfson live from Minneapolis, KSTP, ABC Sports there in the Twin Cities. Find him on Twitter, a good follow at DWolfsonKSTP. You released this videos, just the Zoom, when you guys were interviewing top pick Anthony Edwards last night. And your release kind of went viral because of his answer to the question. The question was, hey, Anthony Edwards, Timberwolves top star, what do you think Alex Rodriguez buying the team, right? Alex Rodriguez, the new owner. Anthony Edwards' answer, I don't know who that is. that got a lot of people's attention. What did you say? What did you think?
I thought it was funny. I mean, Anthony Edwards is incredibly entertaining. I mean, leading into the soundbite, he's fixing his hair. I mean, he's thrown us a bunch of one-liners throughout the season. I just chuckled at it. Like, there's nothing against him not knowing who Alex Rodriguez is. If you don't follow baseball, I mean, Anthony is 19 years old, Nate. The last time A-Rod was a significant figure in Major League Baseball, right, was how long ago? I mean, I don't even remember. Did he finish his career with the Yankees? It was when he was with the Yankees making that run. I think he won one World Championship. Maybe that was, 12 years ago? Was that 2009? All the years blend together, Nate, but it's been a really long time since A-Rod was a significant figure. Now, I get it. He's in the news because he dates, or I don't even know if they're still dating, engaged, whatever it is, J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, and he does the ESPN Sunday night telecasts. But if you're not a baseball fan, Anthony Edwards, admittedly, is not one. Like, I get it. You have no idea who he is. Now, I would have thought over the last couple of days you would have learned about who A-Rod is just based on the news leaking on Saturday night that A-Rod and his business partner Mark Lowry, the former Walmart executive, are about to buy into the Wolves, will take over as majority owners in 2023. Who knows, maybe even sooner, but right now the rhetoric is 2023, that Glenn Taylor will remain on as majority owner for a couple more years. So yeah, I would have thought maybe somebody would have schooled Anthony in the last few days about this celebrity that is buying into the Wolves. But more than anything, I just chuckled. Like, I don't hold it against him that he doesn't know who A-Rod is.
By the way, what do you think of that whole new approach with A-Rod coming in? I pointed this out, Darren. It's like, well, Mark Cuban bought the Mavericks. The Mavericks were struggling. Mark Cuban kind of came in, did a lot of things different, brought some star power. Eventually, he became a celebrity of his own. A-Rod already is. Can they get the Timberwolves going here? It's gonna take some time, but can they get them going?
I think it's worth seeing. Like, a lot of people, right or wrong, Nate, view Minnesota as flyover country. You now have a celebrity owner. So the spotlight will be on the Wolves more so than ever. I appreciate Glenn Taylor because Glenn is as transparent an owner, forget the NBA, Nate, as there is in professional sports. Like, when I call him, he picks up his phone. It doesn't go through an assistant, or any number of people under him, his quote-unquote maybe minions, right? Like, he answers his cell phone. He answers his home phone. He'll talk. He did a bunch of interviews on Saturday, including with me. So I appreciate, that sort of access. That is really rare in professional sports. But if you look at his track record, he bought the Wolves in the mid-'90s. They've stunk, right? I mean, they are, since he took over as owner, going back now 26, 27 seasons, they are one of, if not the worst professional sports franchise around. So I think a lot of Wolves fans are like, hey, it's time. Like, there needs to be some new blood. So I think a lot of Wolves fans are pumped up by that, but there's also some skepticism, Nate, right? Like, the inevitable question is, Seattle needs a team, Las Vegas needs a team, A-Rod specifically has connections to the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, his time with the Seattle Mariners. There's an arena there ready to go. Like, I think a lot of Wolves fans are thinking, are the Wolves moving? Is it inevitable that A-Rod and Lowry look to move the Wolves in 4 or 5 years? Glenn Taylor has been very public saying, no, they're on board with keeping the team here in Minnesota. I can put some things in writing when we officially sign all the paperwork. And, by the way, and this is Glenn talking, he's on every ownership committee there is. He's got a lot of say in whether a team ever moves. If we ever get to a scenario that we did many years ago when the Seattle Supersonics moved to Oklahoma City. And Glenn feels like he could put the kibosh on any scenario like that. That, it makes sense for Seattle and Vegas to get expansion teams. That if you look at the last, when did the pandemic start, Nate? 13 months ago? March of 2020. If you go back 13 months, like, a lot of these owners, and I use in air quotes, lost, but they missed out on all sorts of revenue streams, right? Not that these NBA owners are living check to check, but they're down, some money that they normally would bring in. So, if you expand to Seattle, if you expand to Vegas, think about the money involved, those expansion fees that every owner would be able to recoup millions upon millions of dollars, that there are enough players to make 32 teams work. Like, I'm a big believer that if you look at the G League, if you look at the players playing in Europe, that there are more NBA players than there are jobs available. So it makes sense. Go from 30 teams to 32 teams, and Seattle and Vegas, who deserve NBA franchises in my mind, but the way they get those franchises is expansion, that the Wolves stay here in Minnesota, that they don't move to Seattle.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I really am. One more Minnesota sports question before I let him run. Darren Wolfson on live, KSTP Minneapolis. Where are the Vikings going to go with that first-round pick?
I wish I knew, Nate. It's so much harder this year in my position to answer that than previous years because there are no private workouts because of COVID. There are no visits. So if you go back, Rick Spielman's been the GM now for many, many years. If you go back the last 6, 7, 8 years, the Vikings have ended up drafting a number of players that they brought in on visits. So typically they host in a normal year approximately 30 draft prospects in early April at their facility. Years ago, Winter Park in Eden Prairie, more recently, TCO Performance Center in Eagan. Well, because of COVID, those visits were not allowed this year. So it's harder for me. I will say this. They know they need a left tackle. If you look at their schedule this year, they are going to face really, really good pass rushers. Heck, I just saw Cleveland today. Cleveland's on the Vikings schedule. They had Clowney, right? They have Garrett and Clowney. Just go up and down the Vikings 2021 schedule. Look at all the pass rushers they will face. They have a glaring need at left tackle. The question is, does the kid from Oregon fall? Does the kid from Northwestern, Slater, fall? Sewell from Oregon. He's the consensus number 1 left tackle in this draft. I think the first name is pronounced, is it Penei?
Yeah.
Penei Sewell?
Yep.
And you have Slater, the kid from Northwestern. Those are the top 2. But just about everybody will tell you number 1, and then there's a drop-off. Number 1 is Sewell. I don't know if he goes 5 to Cincinnati. Like, Cincinnati, to me, at pick 5 is going to go with either the tight end from Florida or the wide receiver Chase from LSU, Pitts, the tight end from Florida. So then where does Sewell go? Does he get to pick 7 potentially? I don't know if he goes 6. Does he get to 7? Does he get to 8? If so, I think for the first time, Rick Spielman looks to move up in the first round. He moved up years ago to grab Harrison Smith, so he's moved up from the second round into the late first. But never before during this lengthy run as general manager, Rick Spielman has never moved up, Nate, in the first round. I think there's a chance he moves up if one of those left tackles is staring him in the face. But I also think, is there any chance one of the quarterbacks falls? Like, they've done so much homework on quarterbacks. I don't know if he goes quarterback in the first round, but they've done a lot of homework on Mond from Texas A&M, on Book from Notre Dame, on Trask from Florida. Heck, all the middle-tier quarterbacks, the kid from Stanford, a bunch of guys. They have 7 picks between picks 78 and 157. So I think at some point they are going to take a quarterback, but maybe in the first round is a bit aggressive. If they don't go offensive line, Nate, in the first round, then pass rusher. They went after Lawson, who ended up going to the Jets. They went after Hendrickson. I forget where Trey Hendrickson went. He went from New Orleans to somewhere, but the Vikings made him an offer in free agency, so they went after a couple pass rushers in free agency, swung and missed, ended up with Dalvin Tomlinson to help the defensive line, but they still have a glaring need on the opposite side on the defensive line. So you've got Danielle Hunter coming off the injury. He's back, but they could use another pass rusher. You know, they re-signed Stephen Weatherly after Carolina let him go, but he's more a situational guy. He's not a guy you want in necessarily on first and second down. So is a certain pass rusher there at pick 14? Or I'll give you another idea, Nate. Baltimore has a tackle, Orlando Brown Jr., who was a right tackle. He shifted to left tackle when Staley went down during the season with an injury. He now views himself as a left tackle, but they have the former Notre Dame kid. I can't remember if it's Stanley or Staley, Ronnie something. You can look it up, Nate. But Baltimore's got this stud left tackle. He's now healthy. He's back. So Orlando Brown Jr. is no longer a left tackle for the Ravens. He has been vocal about his desire to be a left tackle, that he is open-minded to being traded. I can tell you, Nate, that the Vikings have talked to the Ravens about Orlando Brown Jr. Baltimore has picked 27. Is there some sort of scenario where the Vikings go from pick 14 to pick 27, maybe give up another pick or two, or who knows, maybe even a player, and in return, they end up with pick 27 and Orlando Brown Jr. That would be one of a few different scenarios that I would keep an eye on.
Solid outing as always. Solid outing as always. Now he's got to get to real work. KSTP.
Don't rate me, Nate. I couldn't even remember half the names. I think it's Stanley. He's a Notre Dame kid. He got hurt during the year for the Ravens, so
all right.
They shifted Brown Jr. from right tackle to left tackle.
That gives me a sense.
Right tackle or somewhere else, not at left tackle, but he's saying, and his agent is saying, hey, he's a left tackle. I want to play left tackle. He wants to get paid, by the way, because he's up for some money here in a year or so. He wants to get paid as a left tackle, not as a right tackle. You know, but the Vikings have a glaring need of left tackle. Hey, so does Jacksonville, so do other teams. So
right. I'm
not saying Brown Jr. is for sure getting traded to the Vikings. I can just tell you, though, that is one scenario. The Vikings have absolutely talked to the Ravens.
I'd say you give me a great scenario, man. Vikings fans, I wanted to get a feel for that. Nobody's really quite sure. At least a few options. Darren Wolfson, find him on Twitter. Follow there at DWolfsonKSTP. That's where you go. Darren, thanks a lot. I always appreciate it, man. I hope you have a good day. Appreciate it.
You got it, Nate. Stay in touch, okay?
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Darren Wolfson tonight live from the Twin Cities, KSTP, ABC sports guy. Man, he was rolling tonight. Minneapolis, Darren Wolfson on Twitter at DWolfsonKSTP. What'd you get for the Vikings there? Pick number 14. Offensive lineman, maybe trading up. Offensive lineman, edge rusher, maybe. There's a few scenarios there for the Vikings. Wanted to get a feel for that. We haven't really thought about where the Vikings are going to go with that first-round pick. We go next to John Stiegelmeier, South Dakota State head football coach. They're playing North Dakota State this Saturday. It's the final game of this FCS spring football season before the playoffs, and it's massive. Coach Stig is next.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills, The Nate Brown Show, on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Renewal by Anderson, proud of what we do. At Renewal by Anderson, we are a local family business. Everyone from our office and project management teams to the best installers anywhere works with our owner, Andy Stelflew, to give our clients a red carpet experience every day. We're proud to carry the best windows and patio doors for sure, but most of all, we're proud to help our clients improve their lives at home with a great investment. Contact us today. We'd be proud to earn your business. Renewal by Anderson, proud of what we do.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We're live weekdays 4 to 6. The Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. Follow us on Twitter. You can watch the show live in studio camera. We're ready to go. We got the South Dakota State Jackrabbits banner right behind my head here. Yes, Jackrabbits always represented on Fox Sports Rapid City. Watch us there at Nate Brown Show. That's where you'll find the Twitter live stream at Nate Brown Show. Here's John Stiegelmeier speaking of the Jackrabbits. Final game of the regular season in the FCS spring football season. Playoffs are approaching, yes, next weekend. All right? John Stiegelmeier on tonight as he gets set. This is the big one. North Dakota State, South Dakota State coming up on Saturday. The Jackrabbits pay a visit to the Fargo Dome. Coach Stiegelmeier, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Life is good. I'm blessed. How are you, Nate?
I'm doing well. And let me get into this here. You guys haven't played for about a month. What's that feel like, Coach?
Well, in terms of health, it feels really good. I mean, we had 4 guys in our injury report this morning, so that is good. It felt a little awkward initially. We call a bye week an improvement week. I think I've used that with you before. And so we've had 3 weeks of improvement week. But our guys have embraced it. They understand that in every situation there's positives, and we've searched them out. We've gotten better as a football team, and we're excited to play this weekend.
South Dakota State 4-1. You said to your team, I was watching this video after at practice, you said, hey, that last game against Southern Illinois where you won it 44-3, really, really good game. You said it was really, really good. How did that rank for you? Why was it so good?
Well, we measure, we call it championship effort. And so we measure every play, we measure every player, their focus. In other words, are they locked in? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? Do they make the right decisions? And then when the play develops, do they give great effort? And so we grade focus and effort. And we think at 98%, and you talk about a lot of plays, a lot of players, a lot of points. We think at 98% we can win a national championship. We're at 97.5. And just mathematically, I'm telling those guys, I can tell you objectively that's one of the best games I've ever experienced here as a head football coach.
Wow. John Stiegelmeier on tonight, South Dakota State head football coach. The Jackrabbits are playing the Dakota Marker at North Dakota State. You said, well, you're healthy, ready to go. This has been a challenging spring season. What was your reaction to some of the teams packing it in the rest of the way?
Well, everybody has their own decisions. Everybody has their own, facts in their program. I honor coaches. I mean, the UND and Youngstown just canceled. Youngstown put their pads away, so UND is going to be a co-champ because they've only got one loss. Also, I'm not going to be critical. I tell you what, two of the three teams that canceled on us or couldn't play or COVID, whatever scenario is, their coaches were apologetic. They were immediately, even before, the one before it was announced, called me so that we weren't working for nothing. So I believe in coaches and believe they make the right decision.
Coach, you've got the Bison. They're 6-1 overall, 5-1 in the Missouri Valley. What do you see from this version of the Bison 2021?
Well, really good on defense, like every year. Any good football team is going to be good on defense. That's the name of winning championships. So offensively, they want to run the football. Probably a little difference in the sense that for the first time in probably over a decade, they don't have a quarterback that they're going to run a bunch. The last really four, from Brock Jensen to Trey Lance and the two in between, they were going to run those guys like running backs. This year, their starting quarterback has 16 rushes in the whole season. Normally, Trey Lance might have 16 rushes in a game, and so that's the biggest difference that we've encountered.
Let me ask you, you mentioned Trey Lance. Well, it's NFL draft time. What do you see from him? You played right up close, Coach. You went against him. What do you see from him at the next level, so to speak?
I see a young man, because we recruited him, and he was in our camp 3-4 years as a high school player at Marshall High in Minnesota. I see a young man that is an unbelievable person, so he won't squander this opportunity. Unbelievable athletic ability, so he's got that. I don't know. I haven't coached him, so I don't know his ability to take a NFL game plan and digest it. Easton Stick seems to be doing okay, and Carson Wentz obviously seems to be doing okay, and he's cut out of the same mold. So, totally different. FCS player leaving after a first year playing, that's kind of unique, but more power to him, and I wish him the best.
Jackrabbits are at North Dakota State Saturday, final game of this FCS spring season. The playoffs approaching. This is a showdown. It's a big one. Coach John Stiegelmeier on a couple more. I'll let him run. You had 392 yards rushing, Coach, last time out. 392 yards rushing. How many yards do you need to get on the ground this Saturday?
Well, we're more worried about points, Nate. If we can run the ball for over 200 yards, I think we're averaging in the league about 212. They're averaging, I think, 228. So two teams that are really committed to running the football, around 200, control the ball, control the crowd. that type of thing, be able to throw the ball. We won't throw the ball deep as much as we have against a lot of teams just because of their pass rush. But we'll be ready. We'll have a good game plan, and our guys will execute.
I say it's a big game. It always is, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. But I look at this playoff field. This is the key one, no?
Well, there's really four things that intersect. The automatic bid. The team that wins this is guaranteed the automatic bid.
Yep.
Guaranteed to share the conference title. Seed implications. They're number 2 right now. We're number 3 per the committee a couple weeks ago. So if we're lucky enough, blessed enough to beat them, who knows where you end up? Because James Madison, I think, is playing a game. See what happens with that. They're the number 1 right now. And then the thing we take a lot of pride in bragging rights is the Border Marker Trophy. We want that back here in Brookings. We want it in our trophy case.
John Stiegelmeier, I'll let you run with this. Idaho head coach Paul Petrino said yesterday, maybe we should play FCS football in the spring all the time, and then we can raise some money, play some money games in the fall. I don't know if that's going to catch on. What do you say?
I say football is meant to be played in the fall. This is part of a unique part of history. COVID, the pandemic is really going to be in history books. This season is going to be in the history books of FCS football, and I don't think there's any way that would happen. There's a couple other coaches have said that, but I think fall's the time to play football, and you wouldn't get a guarantee game in the spring. They're not going to pay you to play a spring game. That would be really unique. So,
I'm with you, Coach. I'm looking forward to Saturday. South Dakota State 4-1, North Dakota State 6-1. Jackrabbits at the Fargo Dome Saturday. Coach John Stiegelmeier on today in Rapid City. Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Nate. Take care.
Appreciate it. John Stiegelmeier gives us some time on Fox Sports Rapid City. This is the showdown. These are the top teams here. South Dakota State at North Dakota State. Dakota Marker game Saturday at the Fargo Dome. All right, Jackrabbits 4-1. Sitting good for the playoffs, but trying to win the Missouri Valley here. Trying to win the Missouri Valley and get the automatic bid, seeding, the whole thing. So Jackrabbits, Bison, spring football. If you're going to watch a spring football game, this is the one, Saturday. Streaming and, of course, on Midco Sports Network as well. Jackrabbits at North Dakota State. Bison and Jackrabbits. This is going to be a good one. And I'm with the coach on that. I didn't just say that to agree with Coach John Stiegelmeier, but Idaho Vandals head coach Paul Petrino, they're in the FCS, they're in the Big Sky Conference. He said, yeah, I'd be up for making the spring football season in the FCS permanent, and then we get to play a few of the big schools for, those automatic payment games in the fall. So let's flip our calendar. Let's play our spring season, all of it, FCS football in the spring, play the money games with the big schools in the fall, a couple of them. That's what Idaho Vandals head coach Paul Petrino said. Yeah, I can't. You can't do it. You can't do it. I looked at how the spring football season has gone, and I know it's been COVID and everything's been shifted and games were canceled, the whole thing, but I felt like basketball kind of, got into the way because it's basketball time. It really is from a national perspective. If FCS football wants to be nationally legitimate, recognized, the whole thing, like some of these games have been in the fall. Yes, I mean, some North Dakota State, South Dakota State games have been legitimate games to watch on College Game Day. You just aren't going to get that in the spring. So I don't know where the Idaho Vandals are coming from, why he would want to go that route. I have no idea. I just know he said that on his radio show the other day, Idaho Vandals head coach Paul Petrino, and I don't see most of the people getting behind that. I just don't see it. I think most of the people didn't love this spring season, and he wants to make it permanent. I thought maybe it was going to put the FCS on a good stage. Hey, no other football's going on. It was tough. It just was tough with the spring sports stuff, mainly the March Madness conference tournaments, the NCAA tournament. The FCS football kind of got on the back burner. Now with this one this weekend, not a lot going on. This weekend, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, might get some attention. And maybe the playoffs might too here late in April and May. No permanent FCS spring football. I can't roll with that. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show with lead NBA writer for NBC Sports, Kurt Helin. He's on the way. A lot to discuss. I got to get into this. Anthony Edwards, the Minnesota Timberwolves, their top pick in the draft last year, not knowing who Alex Rodriguez is. I know, people were kind of joking around about it. I don't like it. We'll discuss it on the way.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show and like us on Facebook by searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their #1 priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
Here's what customers are saying about Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. John Gordon, Rapid City.
I was just looking for a pickup to pull my camper, and a lot of us this day and age look to the internet. I did some research on their website. Everything that you would want to know about a vehicle before you arrive is available on that website that I find bar none one of the best. When it came to their service department, Anytime Auto Sales provides me with an exceptional automotive experience. It was like a valet type of service. When I pull my pickup, pull my cars, the guys would get out, they'd greet me, they'd grab my vehicle, and I just found the experience to be exceptionally easy. I found their integrity and honesty to be above anybody else that I've experienced, and I'll come here every time.
For the best in automotive sales and service, see Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, corner of Highway 79 in East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Half loaves are here, packed with all the flavor and goodness of our regular loaves. Village Hearth half loaves are just the right size for smaller households. Village Hearth half loaves may be smaller in size, but their full-size slices are packed full of big flavor and freshness. With 5 flavorful varieties including Italian, Dakota-style 12-grain, and 100% whole wheat, you're sure to find a half loaf that's just right for you. Village Hearth half loaves, the perfect size for 1 or 2.
Hey, Rapid City, it's Doug Gottlieb. Join me weekdays from 1 to 4 right here on 106.7 FM and 11:50 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now let's get you back to the Nate Brown Show, Rapid City's sports talk show.
Welcome back in Your Sports, Your Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Joe Pompliano on the way, sports business writer, live from New York. I told you about this new league starting up, paying high school kids $100,000 a year, the elite of the elite. On the basketball side, Overtime Elite. Joe Pompliano has some insight, sports business writer live from New York, where Overtime Elite is launching. He just hired Kevin Awley as their director of basketball operations and head coach. We'll talk to Joe straight ahead. Interesting stuff. on the basketball side, lead NBA writer, NBC Sports. It's Kurt Helin back on the Nate Brown Show. Find him on Twitter. Give him a follow. Good follow at Basketball Talk. At Basketball Talk. Kurt, thanks for coming on. How are you? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Is that better? Yeah,
okay.
There we go.
There we go. All right. You're back.
There we go. Yeah,
You're good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. And by the way, I was going to say, NBA GMs and NBA front offices are watching the overtime thing. There's good money behind this. There's smart people behind it. Whether that means it will be successful or not is another question.
Okay, I kind of wanted to get your take on that. I want to get into the NBA, but I just kind of want because people say, well, what's the purpose of this? There's funding behind it, millions and millions, and some big names behind it, Carmelo Anthony to others. And are they going to have a real league that develops NBA players? That seems like what Overtime Elite wants to do.
It does. And look, for the listeners out there who are over 27 or 30, They might not be terribly familiar with Overtime. I can guarantee you, like 25 and under, know exactly who what Overtime is, especially the people who are into high-level basketball. This is they're a social media company, but they were some of the people making Zion a star, on Instagram in high school and others, right? Like, this is a known quantity in those circles that's very popular, gets lots of traffic, and with that has both money they generate through that and Overtime gear, hoodies and gear they have, but also just they've got some VC money behind them now, and you said some NBA people. It's still a question of you're going to have to get the NBA's G League system, which paid guys this year money. Green got a lot of money. Kuminga got a lot of money to go play in the G League for a year. That worked this year. It's not looking like it's going to work quite as well next year when they're not just playing a bunch of G League teams and they're having to travel a little more and stuff. Okay. I'm curious if they're going to be able to make this work for the. If it comes down to this, if they can get a handful of the really elite guys and get a cycle going, then it will be fine. They're paying these guys a lot of money, but I don't know if that's going to work for everybody. Like, some people are going to jump at this, but I don't know that they're going to get all of them, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Kurt, you said G League may not work as well. Why?
This year, if you were on that G League elite team, you were playing with former NBA players, coached by Brian Shaw, former NBA coach, and then you went into the bubble and played these teams, right? You played in the G League bubble in real games towards the playoffs that mattered. Next year, it's exhibition games. It's not G League season games, which means you may not get the best players, and then they're going to play some international friendlies and stuff. It's not drawing the same. Look, they've got 2 of the top 5 picks in this coming draft. They will not next year, and I don't know how I don't know if it's sustainable, and basically that's what it's going to have to be for Overtime to be sustainable too. At the end of the day, you're going to have multiple top 10 picks a year, or other guys, or the money's just not going to work out, I wouldn't think.
Last one on this. Is it good to have these multi-tiers? We got G League. We got college basketball. Yeah. Now we got Overtime Elite. Is that good for the NBA?
The NBA is. I like the way Adam Silver put it. It's good to have options. It's good for the young players to have options. The one and done. Nobody likes the one and done rule, right? I don't know anybody who thinks that's a good plan. And necessarily a good way to develop players. Some colleges are really good at developing players, others are less so. I think that there are players who would be better off, would be happier doing this, or just going and playing. If there's a handful have gone and played internationally and made that work. I think that the more options, the better. But I think ultimately this is going to shake out into a couple of tiers, and I'd still like to see college basketball go to the baseball rule kind of thing, where look. If you go play at Duke or UCLA or North Dakota or where the heck you go play, you're there for, say, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. You're committed there for a few years, and you can't be drafted. And if you want to be drafted right out of high school or do one of these other leagues, then that's a separate thing.
Yeah, interesting. Kurt Helin, NBC Sports lead NBA writer. Let's get into the league here. I had a question for my audience because I've been watching a lot of full games this year. And I feel the offense is so elite. and this hasn't just been this year. It's been that trend now. The three-pointers, unreal.
Yeah.
The scoring, more teams are taking more threes than ever. I say, is the offense that much better, or is the defense worse? Meaning, this is old school versus new school. I had my answer, Kurt, and I said the offense is better. You've covered the game a long time. What's your read?
The pendulum swings, okay? Right now it is absolutely favoring the offense, but that's part of it is, when you look at the numbers, is that where analytics have come in, it's not just that people are taking more threes, although they certainly are. What they're doing is replacing 16 to 20-foot jumpers that are low efficiency with threes. They're still getting to the rim. Guys still have to have floaters. The best players, look, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Anthony Davis can take all the mid-range shots they want. Chris Paul, go for it. So if you're efficient from there, go for it. It's just most guys aren't. And so you're taking away these inefficient shots and replacing them with, teach a guy to shoot 37% from three, 35% from three, and it's better than all the, shooting 50% from two. And most guys don't shoot, they shoot 45, 47% from two. So you make the thing a little bit more efficient, plus people are playing faster. Eventually, somebody will come up with something on defense, and it'll start to swing the other way a little bit. Or they'll tweak the rules again. We'll see. But look, the defense is kind of, Thibodeau tipped it towards defenses for a while, and then you started to see the motion offenses that could take that apart. It just swings back and forth. Right now, the pendulum's just very heavily offensive.
Yeah, Kurt Helin on. Let's talk about playoffs. West. Nuggets had a massive injury. A lot of Nuggets fans here. I think that changes their scenario big time. Who's the story in the West?
Yeah, that crushes. I feel so bad for Denver because I thought they not only did since the trade deadline when they got Aaron Gordon, not only does he just give them some athleticism and another defender, big body defender that they could throw at the LeBrons and Kawhis of the world. They just fit better together. They just looked like he just fit with what they wanted to do. It made their bench better. That team just looked better, and now they don't. And now they're just, and it's a little frustrating. I feel bad because they're just not with all due respect to Monte Morris and Campazzo and everybody else who I think is good on that team, and I know they're talking to Austin Rivers now about coming in. That's not Jamal Murray. It's not a two-man game with Jamal Murray and Jokic. So they take a step back, and I don't know. The West is wide open. The Lakers will, if they're healthy, the Lakers set the bar. But the Clippers have played really nice ball lately. Paul George is getting comfortable. Kawhi Leonard turns it on in the playoffs. New coach. Do they flip the switch, and are they good? Do you trust Utah? It's a really good team, but they win as an ensemble. Can they hit those threes at that pace? What happens when they face switching teams? I've got questions about everybody but the Lakers, so let's put it this way. I would pick the Lakers if you forced me, but I'd take the field over the Lakers. I don't trust anybody yet, and the Lakers just have to prove to me that they're actually healthy.
Speaking of offense, Kurt, last one. Is it the Nets? Are people going to be able to score with the Nets?
Yeah, the Nets defense just has to be okay, doesn't it? And that's actually been top. Weirdly, it's been actually over the last 10 games. It's actually like top 12 in the league. I think it is top 10. They've been really good. I think the last 8 I know it's been top 10 in the league. They've been playing better on that end, and once they get healthy, I can nitpick the chemistry, and I can will they share the ball and how are they going to? We haven't seen them in late game tight situations and yada. Man, that's a lot of talent, and a lot of talent that can create its own shot and plays well off each other so far. And to me, they look more and more like the team to beat on paper. If they can defend well enough and Joel Embiid causes problems for them, there are matchup issues I could try to pick apart, but to me, they'd be my favorite to come out of the East right now.
Kurt Helin, NBC Sports lead NBA writer. Good stuff on a Wednesday. Follow him on Twitter at Basketball Talk. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. Kurt, thanks a lot. Have a great day. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Take care. All
right, Kurt Helin, NBC Sports lead NBA writer, one of the best follows, one of the best basketball guys in the country on the NBA side. NBCSports.com, lead NBA writer on Twitter at Basketball Talk. Kurt Helin on a Wednesday. Let's shift to college sports, okay? We'll revisit our question of the day. If you haven't answered that, it's a dandy. It's a dandy, and I'm in the old school category. I'm old Nate Brown today. Old school category. I'll revisit the question of the day, get your answer if you join us here in the second hour. And the breaking news today from the college sports world. Some breaking news of what the NCAA is going to do. It was a unanimous vote today. That's on the way next. And what about a couple of changes? Rule changes. Oh, I love this. I love this. What about a couple of rule changes to college basketball? There's a couple of really bad ones that they're looking at. That's on the way.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapids.
Renewal by Anderson, proud of what we do. At Renewal by Anderson, we are a local family business. Everyone from our office and project management teams to the best installers anywhere works with our owner, Andy Stelflew, to give our clients a red carpet experience every day. We're proud to carry the best windows and patio doors for sure, but most of all, we're proud to help our clients improve their lives at home with a great investment. Contact us today. We'd be proud to earn your business. Renewal by Anderson, proud of what we do.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well maintained tire and speed shop, over the top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
How does Taco John's define a valedictorian? A valedictorian is smart enough to know tuition at a top-tier value menu should cost no more than $1, $2, or $3. They've graduated to guac, bacon, and steak. So for all valedictorians, we introduce the new Valueist menu from Taco John's. Enroll today for just $1, $2, or $3 to start working on your value thesis. The new Valueist menu. Commence eating. Download our app for exclusive deals at Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
We're all going somewhere. Going higher, faster, farther. Going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring, keep making memories, keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting the herd weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports.
Welcome back into the Nate Brown Show. Fox Sports Rapid City, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Thanks for listening there on foxsportsrapidcity.com on your phone. Also on YouTube, saying hi to everybody checking in. How you doing? YouTube, search Nate Brown Show. You can watch us on YouTube now, on your phone, smart TV, tablet, whatever you want to do. Search Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. Every show posted up there, live and the archive. Also on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. If you're on Twitter, give us a follow, at Nate Brown Show. You can find us there as well. Joe Pompliano coming up, sports business reporter from New York. I'm really excited to discuss this with him. He's got the insight in this new basketball league, and will it be legitimate? It's got legitimate money behind it, paying high school players, the elite of the elite, $100,000 a year. Become full-time basketball guys with a little education on the side, financial literacy, that whole thing, and try to develop NBA players, basically what Overtime Elite is doing. Joe Pompliano's there covering it. It's launching out of New York. He's on the way on the Nate Brown Show. We'll have him live. Okay. 720-1067 is our number. By the way, the Boss Pizza and Chicken Sports Line Live. Check in there. 720-1067. Your take. Also, the Barron's Wilson text line. Barron's Wilson text line open and ready. 720-1067. How you can be a part of the conversation. Some breaking news out of the college sports landscape. We thought this was coming, and now it's official today. The NCAA Division I Council. Yes, the Division I Council. You know, the big vote. The big vote. They're going to decide what's going to happen here. They have voted unanimously to allow college athletes to transfer once without having to sit out a season. So we've discussed this the last couple of months. People throwing it around. I've shifted a little bit on this Wild West scenario. I don't love the Wild West, transferring here and there and everywhere. I said I don't like the waiver system either. What's been going on is, you may not understand, waivers. You have to apply for waivers and give this reason and that reason, and some kids get a waiver and some kids don't get a waiver, and it's a mess. It's a bureaucratic mess. And so I said, if you're going to do the one-time transfer, Coach Harbaugh at Michigan kind of threw this out a while ago. He said, hey, I'm on board with this. One-time transfer, just let it happen. Let it happen. And I've shifted a little bit. I don't love all the transferring. I really don't. But I'll go with this, and they made it official today. So all athletes going to get the old get out of free jail card. Get out of jail card free one time. No questions asked, and you're going to be able to transfer, no sit out. I don't love it how it could play out in conferences. Okay, so I can go from North Carolina to Duke. I can go from Georgia to Alabama. I can go from Wyoming to Colorado State. I can go from Nebraska to Iowa. Okay, hitting all of this. That's I don't love that. We get into this, it's not working out as well. I'm going to go here. You're going to open up some sticky situations there. I do believe that. But we just got to do it. One-time transfer. No questions asked. You can go. It's the one-time deal. You made a bad choice. It's not a good fit. Coach changes. Whatever it may be, there's circumstances that the athlete should be allowed some room to move. And so I'm with it. The measure passes today. And it will change the landscape a little bit of collegiate athletics. It will change the landscape because you're seeing it in basketball now, right? The old transfer fest. Over 1,400 basketball players are in there now today. We thought 1,200 was high. It's over 1,400 men's basketball players in the transfer portal today. So everybody's going every which way. I think it's almost impossible to build a program if you're a really good recruiter and you get a really good high school kid and he turns out to have a great freshman year and he's at a mid-major, low-tier program potentially, he's gone. I'm telling you, most of that, it's going to happen. So it's going to change the whole situation here. I love building programs, teams, cohesiveness, chemistry. I like that side of sports. I don't love the transfer fest, and then the people on the other side tell me, the kids should be able to do whatever they want to do, and it just kind of goes against my team mindset in the world of college sports. Okay, so that's in. One-time transfer. That's official today. And we'll receive final approval. So we'll have the one-time transfer, no questions asked. How about these rule changes they're looking at in college basketball? Who's with me on this? I've got some issues with this. They're just looking at this now. This is college basketball, potential rule changes as they work this through committee. Okay? And they're throwing out some ideas and wondering if people are going to get on these ideas. There's a few good ones or ones I don't care about that aren't going to change the game, so to speak. And then there's just ones that I'm going, why? College basketball, why? Here's one. This is a real rule change potential here that they're throwing out. A team will have the opportunity to decline free throws in the last 2 minutes of a game. When we start the foul fest, a team's down, so we start the foul fest. So then when I get fouled, I can say, I don't want to shoot free throws. Do we think teams are going to do that? Do we think teams are going to do that? Not very often. Not very often at all. I get a chance to score points, or the other option is I get to throw in the ball again. So I don't know if they're just what they're trying to do is clean up the end of games, speed up the end of games. I know what happens. I know it gets a little prolonged. Okay, foul fest. I don't like it either. I don't think that's going to fix the problem. Hey, you got fouled. Yeah, we're not going to shoot any more free throws. We're up by 5, but we're going to take the ball out instead. Okay, I wouldn't think you'd need to give that team the opportunity to choose. I think we're still going to choose free throws. That's one. Here's one. Looking at eliminating the 5-second violation. You know the 5-second violation, that rewards good defense. I've got pressure on you. I'm in your pressure window. And if I'm pressuring you with the dribble for 5 seconds, it's a 5-second violation. They're looking at eliminating that. So what do we want to turn it into? The James Harden dribble fest? The James Harden dribble fest? I mean, why would we want to eliminate the 5-second rule? You tell me. Tell me why that is. Nobody has explanations in this. These are just the rule changes that they're looking at. Eliminate the 5-second closely guarded rule. That's basketball. Defense. Man-to-man. We don't want to make it too hard on the offense. We want one guy dribbling around there like James Harden. I don't get that one, so I'm having a hard time with that. Here's one that can get a little dicey for me. We're looking at adjusting the traveling rule in college basketball. Why? Here is an explanation. To allow a player to take 2 steps after lifting his pivot foot, such as the Euro step and the step back 3-point shot. You know what that's code for? That's code for, we're going to take the old 3 steps now. That's code for, we're going to loosen up on the traveling. I mean, they don't want to quite tell you that. They want to say, well, it's to allow the Euro step move. It's to allow the step back shot, taking 2 steps after you lift your pivot foot. That's the old 3-step situation. I had a listener text in last night. That's the one thing he doesn't love about the NBA is the old, not calling the travels. And now college basketball might lean into that. College basketball might lean into that situation. That's what it is. Adjust the traveling rule to allow a player to take 2 additional steps after lifting his pivot foot for the Euro step and the step back shot. Eliminate the 5-second rule. Allow the player to take 3 steps. You know which way I'm going with this. It's we're just trying to have more offense, it appears. Oh, but careful with the free throws. You guys want to shoot free throws? No, we're gonna pass. we're gonna pass. Last one. College basketball rule changes. Looking at going to 6 fouls. So right now it's 5. Okay, high school, college 5, NBA 6. So the big picture I get here of the possible rule changes in college basketball today, as they announce these, kind of looks like shifting towards the NBA, right? Whether that's right or wrong, I've told you I don't love some of this stuff. I've told you the offensive skill level in the NBA is through the roof. It's through the roof, yet we're making it easier for it to be good. We're making it easier for the offense. And the 6 foul thing, it's fine. I don't really care about that. NBA has 6 fouls. That's why I say. So NBA 6 fouls, college basketball looking to go to 6 fouls. Listener text coming in. Let's take a look. Want to clean up the game? Practice your free throws. Yeah, I didn't get that one. Hey, you guys can take the ball out and maybe turn it over, or you can shoot free throws. What do you want to do? We'll take it out and throw it away. What are you thinking? Joe Pompliano, sports business writer from New York. Will this new basketball league be real. What is the point of the new basketball league paying high school players $100,000 a year? Joe Pompliano covers it. It's launching in New York. He's got some insight next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Weather brought to you by Mickels Post Frame Buildings. Have you seen some of those never-ending building projects around the hills? Well, if you want your post frame building built with all the warranted materials included and you want it completed on time, call MPF Buildings of Blackhawk at 787-4967 or email mickelspostframe@aol.com. MPF Buildings, new steel roofs and post frame buildings built the way you expect your building to be. Owner-operated for over 30 years. Phone 787-4967.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter weather advisory begins at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning and continues until 6 a.m. Friday morning. Cloudy tonight with lows around 26. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 35 tomorrow, snow likely. Overcast tomorrow night, snow likely 29. 2 to 4 inches of snow tomorrow through Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 37.
Witness the excitement as the Rush hosts a tripleheader. The action takes place Wednesday, April 14th, presented by Motostone, and Friday, April 16th, presented by Rushmore Tramway as the Rush go head-to-head against the Allen Americans. The week rounds out with Rush Fights Cancer Night on Saturday, April 17th, presented by Dakota Barricade. Join the Rush, who will be wearing lavender jerseys and honoring those that have battled all forms of cancer. Make sure to stick around after the game for a jersey auction benefiting the Monument Health Foundation. Plus, pay tribute to somebody you know that has fought cancer by stopping in on Thursday, April 15th from 5 to 7 p.m. by writing their name on the ice. All puck drops this week are at 7:05 p.m. Tickets are at RapidCityRush.com.
Welcome to Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, the home of the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the area, with a new inventory arriving daily. But that's not all. Let me show you. Meet our fast and friendly finance officers, who will take you through the purchase process quickly and who work with a large number of local and national lenders. Here at Denny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, we pride ourselves on our customer-centric approach, and we strive to provide you, our customer, with a 5-star experience every time. We'll see you soon, here at Denny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet in Rapid City.
Black Hills Community Bank has been the local bank that you can count on. And Black Hills Community Bank has been helping small businesses impacted by COVID-19 through the Paycheck Protection Program. Whether you want to apply for your first PPP loan or the second round, go to bhcbank.com to see if you qualify. Work with a local bank that stands behind you and your business. Black Hills Community Bank in Rapid City and Spearfish, helping local businesses make a great comeback. Visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, just rolling on a Wednesday. If you missed the show live, go to foxsportsrapidcity.com. The Nate Brown Show archives are there. Every show, every guest. Listen at your own convenience. Download the show, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts. Find the Nate Brown Show podcast. It's all up and ready. We'll upload the show every time when we get done, and then you got good content all right there. The Nate Brown Show. Check the podcast if you can't catch us live. We're live tonight on Fox Sports Rapid City with Joe Pompliano. Covers sports business. Really interesting follow there on Twitter at Joe Pompliano. That's where you'll find him. And also this, you'll get some information. ReadHuddleUp.com. Okay? He does this daily. ReadHuddleUp.com. When it comes to money, business, sports, it's all there. And I find this so interesting. I think a lot of listeners do too. ReadHuddleUp.com is his daily email. Okay? Joe's joining us on the Nate Brown Show. I talked about this yesterday. Overtime Elite. A new basketball league that's really getting cranking. Big money behind it. Based in there. Overtime. The young crowd's in this, okay? I don't know if I'm the young crowd anymore. I used to be. But the young crowd's in this. Overtime's massive. And now a new basketball league. Their coach, their director of basketball is Kevin Ollie. They just hired him. I just wonder if is this legitimate now, looking at the elite high school players, 16 to 18, paying them up to $100,000 a year. NBA prospects. I want to get some insight. Joe Pompliano joins us from New York. Joe, thanks for coming on. First of all, I appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing well, Nate. Thanks for having me.
Well, let me get your read on Overtime Elite. And some of the listeners, they haven't heard of Overtime. And that doesn't surprise me because they really have targeted social media, digital, the young crowd. Overtime believes this is the crowd. This is how we're going to make it. And I want to ask you, this new basketball league, now we got all these tiers, G League, Overtime Elite, International, college basketball. Is this league legitimate? Do you buy it?
Yeah, so I think it's important to kind of set the stage first, right? So for the listeners who may not know, Overtime is a sports media company that was really built on a digital kind of social media age. So they perform extremely well on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, etc. I think they do maybe 70 million. They have 45 million followers, and they do about 1 billion views a month. So it's a massive ecosystem on social networks. And what they said is like, look, like you mentioned, there's the G League, there's overseas, there's college basketball, etc. There's all these different options, but there's no option for kids 16 to 18 years old that want to capitalize and make money on their athletic ability, right? And I think that's kind of the unique part of what they're offering is that you're not competing with the G League. The NCAA doesn't need to fail for them to succeed, right? And what I mean by that is Overtime Elite it's a professional basketball league that's looking to compensate 16 to 18-year-olds, but they only have 30 roster spots, right? So it's not a whole league like some people are imagining.
Yeah.
They're going to pay players about $100,000 or more. You get full health benefits, you get a year-end bonus, you get a small equity stake in Overtime, and you're able to profit off your name, image, and likeness and retain the rights to your sneaker deal, right? So you have all the ability that a normal kind of professional athlete would have from that perspective, and you get paid. And the best part is that if you don't, if you end up not going to play professionally or you get hurt or whatever it might be, they'll pay $100,000 for your college tuition. So that's kind of like the kicker where it's like, hey, we know you're giving up your status as an amateur athlete. You won't be able to go play in college basketball. So if you get hurt or you don't want to pursue professional basketball, we'll pay for you to go to college or whatever it might, at least a certain portion of it. But I think those benefits are all kind of flashy and they're great and everything like that. But I think that really the unique piece is that they're not competing with what the NBA is trying to do with the G League, and they're not really competing with the overseas programs, right? So traditionally, when a player graduated high school, they could either go to college for a year or they would go overseas for a year like Brandon Jennings did or some of those guys. So the NBA was like, all right, look, we're going to create something for kids that are about 18 years old. We're going to call it G League Unite. We're going to give them between $200,000 and $500,000, and we're going to train them for a year and then let them get drafted the next year. We're going to teach them financial skills, budgeting, whatever it might be, and they're going to be ready to play the next year, and they're going to get the best training. And that's great, but what people don't realize is that G League team, the average age of the team is like 25 years old. There's only like 3 or 4 kids that are 18 years old on the team, right? So that's one thing. Like Jared Jack is on the team, for example. He's 37 years old. And I know you want a good mix of kind of older and younger players to kind of mentor them and whatever it might be. But Overtime fits actually as a feeder program into the NBA's program because they're attacking the 16 to 18-year-olds, right? So the idea is that you're 16 years old, you go to Overtime Elite, you get paid for 2 years, and right, so you have to be 19 to go to the NBA. There's still that year gap from when you're done with Overtime Elite to the NBA, so you go to the NBA program, right, the G League Ignite team. So when Adam Silver talked about this a few weeks ago, he was extremely he complimented Overtime Elite a lot. He said it fit really naturally into the grand scheme of what they're trying to accomplish. He was super on board with it. And then the other thing is, right, people always talk about what LeVar Ball did with the JBA, right? That was his idea, and everyone says, LeVar thought of this first. And LeVar was right in the idea that amateur athletics needed another option, right? One of my core beliefs is that you should just give these kids as many options as is, educate them on which options are best for them and their family, and then let them make the decision, right? You kind of almost want to remove yourself from the decision process and just give them a bunch of options. So LeVar was correct that he was providing another option, but what he failed to do was, one, integrate it with other leagues like the NBA and work together, and then two, he lacked not only the financial stability to be able to pull it off, but also the distribution. And those are two things that Overtime is really set up to succeed on. And what I mean by that is the social media following, right? They have 45 million followers across certain accounts. They do 1 billion impressions each month, right? So they have the distribution on social. They'll be able to attract eyeballs. all the kids that are on their channels already know these athletes that are going to be on it, right? So imagine Zion, right? When he was Zion Williamson, when he was in high school, he was all over the place, right? He might be an outlier to some degree, but he was doing billions and billions of views throughout those years in high school on Overtime. He was a celebrity. He had millions of followers, and it's the same thing with kids like Mikey Williams and the others. These kids already know them. And then financially, they're backed by some of the largest venture capital firms in the world, like Andreessen Horowitz. Kevin Durant is a backer, Carmelo Anthony, and more, right? So they have plenty of money to go out and do this. And when you think about it, right, it's 30 roster spots. They're not fielding a 30-team league. You're going to be playing against other prep schools in the area. The cost is a lot smaller than I think people realize. And now it's just about using those distribution points to drive meaningful revenue from sponsorships, marketing contracts, etc., and allowing these players to capitalize. And I think what we're seeing is to me, the most important part is, right, like everyone kind of was laughing at the NCAA and, the NCAA must be so worried. And that's kind of the easy thing to do. But to be honest, they don't need to fail for this to succeed. I think that Overtime kind of being this new age sports media company, they already have the established audience, they have digital distribution, and most importantly, potentially, is social equity, right? Everyone knows who they are, that age group. I think that's kind of like the winning formula that they're built on. And I really do think that it's going to go a lot better than people think.
The big question, we've got Joe Pompliano on. Great breakdown, Overtime Elite, the new basketball league we were discussing last night. He joins us. Read his site, his email, really good, sports business, readhuddleup.com, where you can find it on Twitter at Joe Pompliano. Joe, the big question, what's in it for Overtime? Enhancing their brand, that creates revenue. I get it, but meaning when these guys get to the NBA, what's in it for Overtime, the initial investment? What's the end goal?
Yeah, so there's no like equity component or what. So there's these things called income share agreements, right? So Fernando Tatis, the baseball player, is a perfect example. He was paid a sum of money to come over here, and he was basically given a front on his contract. There's none of that with Overtime Elite. They're not taking equity in any of your future deals or contracts or anything like that. It's strictly, one, obviously there's a brand awareness play where they want to become like the synonymous brand with amateur athletics. Mm-hmm. And we've seen them kind of venture into more professional stuff over time. But I think really what they're trying to do is they're trying to grow their brand as a media company. And whether that's through just eyeballs or whether that's through meaningful revenue with brands and sponsorships and more, I think it's all important. But if this league goes well, you could quickly see them to expand to more teams, right? If it comes to the point where there's more demand outpacing their 30 roster spots, maybe they go to 2 teams. Maybe they do a 4 or 5 team league, right? So I think that once you build the model where they can say, hey, look, this is working really well. We're driving a bunch of attention to this. We're getting a lot of marketing dollars and sponsorship dollars interested in it. How about we add a 2nd team, a 3rd team, a 4th team? And all of that really just builds their brand and kind of their flywheel, we'll call it, over time.
I want to ask you, Joe, how about the hire of Kevin Ollie? I mean, that's a legit guy, right? UConn coach, the pretty big name. Hired him as director of basketball and as coach. What'd you think of that hire?
I thought it was awesome. I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know that was coming, to be honest, and I was one surprised that to some degree that Kevin did it. I like I said before, I really believe in what Overtime is doing. But Kevin's, he's an NBA veteran. He won a national championship with UConn. He's got an extremely well-kept resume. So I thought that was a fantastic get for them. I think he does a really good job of connecting with players. So when you have these young kids coming in that need buy-in, I think that's important. And I think he's going to do a really good job.
A really interesting story in sports to me. Really is. Overtime Elite, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, the best of the best. 30 spots. They're looking to launch the game, so to speak, the competition September. ReadHuddleUp.com. If you don't have that, find it, ReadHuddleUp.com. Joe Pompliano, came across his work. Find him on Twitter at Joe Pompliano. Joe, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Joe Pompliano on the Nate Brown Show, Sports Business, live from New York. Interesting stuff. I knew he was going to have a great breakdown of it. He was covering this league as it got going. Overtime Elite, brand new, 30 high school players, paid $100,000 a year and more, and a whole program here of trying to, there it is, now there is more competition for college basketball now, right? So, I mean, this basketball landscape just blows my mind. Think this through. College coaches are now trying to build programs. They're dealing with their own players that are transferring all over the place, okay? So you got to get the right player. Now you're looking at, well, I can pick up guys in the transfer portal because I don't know if I'm going to go to the high school ranks as much. I mean, if Overtime Elite's targeting these elite players, the best of the best, and they're paying them $100,000, and some of these kids are going to say, I'm going to take this. I mean, this is legit. I'm going to take this and go that route. Now these college programs are, what's happening along the way in college basketball? I mean, there's a lot of balls in the air. There's a lot of balls in the air now. I'm just interested. What is it, the big picture for Overtime Elite? Paying these guys, and you're going to say, well, that's not a massive amount of money. You only got 30 guys. Pay them $100,000 or more. They're going to get more branding, more exposure. That seems like what they're up to. That seems Overtime as a social media company, okay? That seems like what they're up to. They want to be the number one high school basketball site. That's what they want to be. So basically what they're saying, if you're under 30, you should know Overtime's number one when it comes to content, highlights, basketball, the whole thing. If you're under 30, that's their target. So they're not trying to hit me and maybe some of you. They want to be the number one thing as this whole world has changed on social media. You're not watching Sports Center anymore, okay? The 19-year-olds. They're not watching Sports Center. They're watching Zion on the phone from Overtime. They have videographers. They have the whole thing, getting all these highlights, and now they're starting their own league, trying to feed the NBA system. Really interesting to me. Really interesting. Let's come back with Craig Maddock, South Dakota Public Broadcasting, live from Sioux Falls. A lot of things to hit with Craig today in the East River-West River matchup on the way.
Your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
One and really listen to our customers and make sure that we take care of them the very best that we can.
We are going to apply the best of our knowledge and ability and care to really analyze their situation and find all the best solutions that we possibly can.
We customize what we do to what you need. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker in Rapid City. If you considered selling your current home, let me take you to that next step with confidence. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I have been in the business of attracting buyers for 15 years. Let's make it happen. Contact me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Insurance. We all need it to protect our homes, health, businesses, and belongings. But having adequate coverage is just the beginning. You also need the support of professionals who stand by your side to protect what's important to you. Fisher Rounds & Associates combines the coverage you want with the commitment you need. Fisher Rounds & Associates. At your service, at your side. With offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in on a Wednesday, the Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City. We're rolling tonight. We are rolling tonight. It's time for the East River, West River matchup. It's a dandy. It's a dandy every week on the program. We go East River, West River. Craig Maddock live from Sioux Falls. He is a great friend of mine, but it's time to do a little bit of battle. Sometimes we battle, sometimes we don't. It depends what type of mood he's in. We'll see. South Dakota Public Broadcasting. He has the new podcast out there, always good, as he interviews folks across the state, SDPB. Find Craig on Twitter, @Craig Maddock. Craig, thanks for coming on. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good, Nate. Thanks for the plug on the podcast.
Yes.
By the way, a new podcast comes out next week, and it features an athlete that did something that has only been done once in the history of South Dakota, and probably will never be done again. So that will be next week on the SDPB podcast, In Play.
I like it. In Play with Craig Maddock. That's the podcast. Okay, you're in play now on the Nate Brown Show. You are in play, so you better be ready. Here's a quick one. People ranked the best states. This isn't a sports question, Craig. This is a little lighter load. People ranked the best states in this big survey across the country when we were matched up one-on-one. So it was South Dakota against Oregon. It was South Dakota against Colorado. People ranked the best states, okay? South Dakota came in at number 44. Number 44. And I got to say, was that East River's fault? I mean, what's going on? Huh?
Clearly, well, let's face it, there's a lot of people who think that Mount Rushmore is just outside of Sioux Falls. we know that. There are people in parts of the country that have no idea that it's 350 miles apart from the two. Clearly, if people would ever hit the hills, they would be in love with it for the rest of their life.
Oh, yes. You got the right answer. By the way, I do like that people think we're the 44th best state. That's okay with me, Craig. That is okay. Okay, we're just going to keep it light here. If people don't want to,
I'm okay with that too.
If people don't want to flood the state, I'm fine with it. By the way, Alabama finishes last at 50. Alabama 50. Iowa, our friends from Iowa came in at number 46. So we did beat Iowa. Craig Maddock on. Let me ask you about this question of the day. It's a sports question. A college basketball team, Abilene Christian, they made the tournament. They beat Texas, okay, in the bracket. They beat Texas. That was one of those big upsets. I don't know if you picked that or not, Craig. I did not. Abilene Christian, they lost their coach because they've had success. So he goes to UTEP. Okay, here today now, the players say, we want the assistant coach hired. End of story. So the players have told the school, we're not going to do any workouts. We're not going to participate at all until you hire the current assistant coach that's with us. That's our guy. My question of the day is, what are your thoughts? Hire the guy the players want, or players don't make that call? Where are you at?
Players do not make that call. I'm going with whatever the administration wants, because in 2 or 3 years, those players who are voicing their opinion aren't going to be there anyway. Then what? You have to look at your program on a long-term basis. And sometimes in college basketball, it is only 2 or 3 years long-term for some. But no, you can't have the players determining who the coach is going to be.
I agree with you. I'm there too. 76% of the audience says that as well. So 24% of my audience tonight says, well, you got to hire the guy the players want. It's different to me, Craig. The players have a voice, but we always jump to social media, and that's what happened with the players today. They jumped to social media and said, hey, hire this assistant coach. We love the guy. He may be the guy anyway, but let the process play out. And that's what the mistake is being made, in my opinion. We just this guy, we go on social media, let it play out. He might be the guy anyway, and now it's a mess.
You're absolutely right. Even though the players have had some close ties with this particular coach, you know what? If maybe he's got some things that just aren't. He's not head coach material. We know a lot of assistant coaches and are very good assistant coaches because they don't need to do the head coach stuff. But when they get to be a head coach, you know what? Some of them, they're not made to be head coach material. And so when it comes down to the administration, they're the ones, though, that should determine who's going to be the coach.
It's interesting. I agree with you. And by the way, the athletic directors, I don't know this guy at Abilene Christian, but a lot of the ADs, they have their own guys that they've worked with in the past. It's a big network, and so sometimes that's the way it works, too. We'll keep our eye on that. The player's saying, well, we're not going to do a thing until you hire this guy. We'll see how it goes, Abilene Christian. Let me get a read on college basketball and college sports in general. It was just announced, finally official today, Craig, just this afternoon. They are going to allow one-time transfers in every sport, no questions asked, without sitting out a season. So the waiver situation in NCAA is gone. The Division I Council voted this afternoon. They say, we're going to do this one-time transfer, no questions asked. I've shifted, and I can get on board with it. I don't love the transfer fest, but I think the waivers were inconsistent. So I'm going to go with that. Where are you at?
The portal stuff going on now is a total mess. It's hard to I don't like it. I do like the new ruling today, and I think, too, when a coach leaves, players should be allowed to leave, too, if they want, without sitting out, but that's a different issue. This one here, you know what? You get one shot to leave if you want. And how many times have we seen a freshman, for some reason, they're choosing this nice, big Division I atmosphere, and you know what? They get homesick. They don't like it. It's miserable. They're not playing like they should be. Name your sport. I think you should be allowed, but only once. I like that. Only once in 4 years. You gotta make it right. When are you going to make that decision? Are you going to wait till your senior year? Are you going to wait until you got a couple years in? It's a decision that athletes will have to make, and I'm okay with that.
I think it's getting tougher and tougher for South Dakota State, USD, Wyoming, whoever you want to throw in there with this transfer stuff going on. I don't know how you build a winning program when you recruit the right kid. He becomes the freshman of the year in the conference, and then he's gone. I don't know how you're going to build a winning program if you're not the best of the best, because coaches, they find the diamonds in the rough, Craig. Now they're going to lose these guys. That's the only thing I don't love about this basketball thing.
Well, that will happen a lot more with the portal, the way they have it today, where you could lose 2 or 3 players with that. With this, you know what? You have a good year. The chances are maybe you'll be able to keep them, but that is always going to be a challenge for South Dakota State and USD in Division I in their athletics. It doesn't matter what the rule is going to be. A really good player turns out diamond in the rough, they may be leaving anyway. The Jacks have been kind of lucky with Mike Dahm. Dahm stayed, but Jenkins left and Amude left down at USD. I mean, it is almost ripe for players that go to SDSU or USD. If they have a super season or two, there's going to be other schools calling that because they would love to have that person.
It's impossible.
The diamond in the rough for them.
Yes, impossible to build a program with some that way. I believe it. It's going to be a challenge. It really is for the coaches with this basketball transfer portal. Over 1,400 players today in the transfer portal. Over 1,400. Craig Maddock on tonight. Before I let you run, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, FCS football. This has been a struggle. I just talked to John Stiegelmeier tonight. He said, we're excited about it. They haven't played in almost a month. Where is this at on the radar? This should be a showdown, but it feels like it's not on the radar for a lot.
Yeah, I think the season has been a bust for FCS. And come on, you can't have one game per month for teams to get into sync, to get good. Teams have been bugging out left and right in the FCS. I think the season in football has been a bust this year, and I just don't think people are really into it this year, unfortunately. I think people like their fall football, not so much maybe for the spring.
No, it's really weird. It's an interesting thing I've been looking at, whether it's the ratings for some of the major sports, this COVID calendar in sports, when things are messed up, it's really wild. People, the Masters did pretty well, even though there wasn't much drama. The Masters did better here in the spring than it did in the fall because people just they just weren't. We're not used to the Masters now, and I believe that. I think people are FCS football, springtime, March Madness, all this other stuff. I think people were checked out. North Dakota State, South Dakota State do play Saturday. Craig Maddock is on tonight. Find him on Twitter at Craig Maddock. Give him a follow. Remember, In Play, the podcast from SDPB Sports. Craig, always great. Thanks a lot.
You bet, Nate. Take care, buddy.
All right. Have a good night. Craig Maddock on tonight on the Nate Brown Show. One of the best there from Sioux Falls, longtime sports broadcaster. Craig Maddock on tonight, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Who's hot and who's not? You better believe it. On a Wednesday, I've got the number one pitcher in this early season that you don't know about. The stats just blew me away today as I was looking through this. Why isn't this a big story? Who's hot and who's not? I'm going to put him in my who's hot category. This guy and his numbers, this pitcher and his numbers will blow you away. That is on the way. Hang on.
The Nate Brown Show.
At Ace Steel and Recycling in Rapid City, our goal is to make recycling your materials so quick, so easy, and so profitable that you'll become a lifetime recycler. At Ace Steel and Recycling, we buy, process, and ship scrap iron, automobiles, stainless steel, and aluminum, including cans and cast. We also buy insulated wiring, as well as copper, brass, lead, batteries, zinc, and tungsten carbide. Visit acesteelusa.com or give us a call at 342-8649. Ace Steel and Recycling, 2830 Eglin Street, Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter weather advisory begins at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning and continues until 6 a.m. Friday morning. Cloudy tonight with lows around 26. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 35 tomorrow, snow likely. Overcast tomorrow night, snow likely 29. 2 to 4 inches of snow tomorrow through Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 37.
Do you prefer time on the lake or on two wheels? No matter your idea of fun, Black Hills Federal Credit Union makes it easy to play your way with great rec vehicle loans. Now extended through April 30th, our rec vehicle promotion offers great rates and 90 days to your first payment. Learn more at bhfcu.com. Text or call 605-718-1818 or ask your dealer about BHFCU financing. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we love the unique ways other countries compliment their chefs. In France, they say magnifique. In Italy, delizioso. And in many parts of the world, it's a compliment to belch. Don't try that at home, kids. But at Pizza Ranch, we keep hearing the same thing over and over again when guests bite into our pizza. Our famous chicken. And all the favorites on our buffet. We're beginning to think you're all trying to tell us something. We'll take that as a compliment. Pizza Ranch.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson, McPherson Auction Company. We have two exciting fundraisers that are going to be closing out this Friday evening at 6 o'clock. Now, we're going to be selling several dolls for the Wavy organization, also several items for the Nicole Weiss benefit. Nicole's been suffering some major medical issues, and this is our way of helping out. There's several gift certificates, wine, artwork, and other exciting items that have been donated. That'll all be this Friday, 6 o'clock in the evening. Go to McPhersonAuction.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, let's finish it out on a Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch every night at this time. Who's hot and who's not? Let's throw it out your way. The Pizza Ranch ready to roll tonight with Kids Night. Are you ready to roll to the Pizza Ranch Buffet? Open daily 11 to 8. Wednesday's the night. Kids Night. One child, 12 and under. eats free for every regular priced adult. The Pizza Ranch Buffet tonight, Wednesday. Okay, who's hot? Here's a picture I wanted to point out because nobody's talking about this, and it's a major accomplishment. It's a major accomplishment. There's a pitcher named Corbin Burnes with the Milwaukee Brewers, okay? Corbin Burnes. He is just on fire. When I say who's hot, it's Corbin Burnes. Keep an eye on this guy, Milwaukee Brewers. He's the first pitcher since 1906. You know, you baseball guys love history. First pitcher since 1906 to have 30 strikeouts, 0 base on balls in his first 3 starts. That's 10 Ks a game, no walks. No walks. Corbin Burnes. Remember the name. Can he keep it up? We shall see. I mean, I don't think that's a flash in the pan. Corbin Burnes, Milwaukee Brewers. First pitcher since 1906 to have 30 Ks and no walks in his first 3 starts of a season. Unfortunately, my Chicago Cubs have to face Corbin Burnes quite a bit, which they did yesterday, and it didn't work out so well. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, I got to go to this one. I don't like it. I don't like it. People said, you're being too hard on him. Too hard on him. I don't like it. I'm putting Anthony Edwards, the first-round draft pick of the Minnesota Timberwolves last year, right? Anthony Edwards out of Georgia. 19-year-old. I think he's going to be fine. He's not a great shooter, but he's a nice player. Anthony Edwards in my Who's Not category. Why? Alex Rodriguez is buying the Minnesota Timberwolves. A-Rod is buying the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Anthony Edwards, the 19-year-old star for the Timberwolves, was asked, what do you think of Alex Rodriguez buying the Timberwolves? And he says, I don't know who that is. Who is that? Come on, guys. A-Rod's been out of the league 5 years, coming up on 5 years. It's not like he's ancient. Does that just tell me I'm old? I'm just old? Or come on. You don't know who Alex Rodriguez is? And from another point, you're playing for the Timberwolves. You got a new owner coming in. Maybe find out who A-Rod is. Maybe find out. You got to get with it, Anthony. Get with it. You got to know who Alex Rodriguez is when he's buying the team, and you should know him anyway. It's A-Rod. I'm not a big fan, but it's A-Rod. We're back tomorrow on a Thursday. The Nate Brown Show in the books. See you back here at 4.